All right, let's dive into track 4, Unwind. Now, this song starts off with a sample. This is a sample that I ripped from archive.org again, and I forget the name of it once again. I should really write these things down. But it was copyright free. It was an old 50s PSA on aging and, getting your life together. So I really liked it, so let's listen to it.
Listen, you've only got one life. Did you ever stop to figure what that means?
Yeah. It means I better go before I wake up with a long white beard.
Okay, so that's just the sample. But what's really cool is I used this dub delay on it, and I actually mixed it down because I wanted to be able to cut it at the very end. I have it swelling up, so I turned the feedback up, and I was using automation to get that feedback where it was almost like ear piercing, and this is what it sounds like. You hear it. It's like fading away, but now it's coming back. Here it comes. And it gets swallowed up. And I'm using the slow down effect there from Logic. I think I mixed it down. So with that, it's actually playing this piano part in the background, which is like a very staccato piano part, very choppy, and I wanted it to do that, but it's also playing this lead part. So this is the choppy piano. And that's really just a vintage upright piano from Logic. I have stereo mic A and B at 100%, mono mic at 55%. Really nice. I think I have some spring reverb on it. And in the background, what's happening is the lead piano is playing this really cool melody. And that melody is really teasing the counter melody or the main motif, if you will, for after the chorus when that's done. So the guitar part, synth part that comes in. So it's teasing that part. So with the dub delay, here it comes in. Swelling up, vocals.
Worry about things that are out of our hands, even though we can never change them.
And that's that really cool effect where you reverse your voice and you put I had to watch so many videos on this. You put reverb on your voice, mix that down, reverse it, put more reverb on, and then reverse it again, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it has a really cool sound.
Worry about things that are out of our hand.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so let's listen to it.
Worry about things that are out of our hands, even though we can never change them. Stressed out if we don't understand, leaving us a bit unstable. Oh, we all struggle sometimes.
So you hear those phaser drums come in that I used on some of the other tracks. So you'll hear this drum break right here. And that is just, that's not even phaser drums. I'm so used to just using phaser drums that I thought it was, but it's not. It's actually just, I'm using the multiband compressor here to solo out this band from 24. Oh no, that's not 24. Oh, so the crossover there it's 70. Yeah. So 75, and that looks like 300. Yeah. 75 to 300, just soloing out that band there, but also compressing it. And then I also have a small drums room at 87% here. Very little decay because I don't want it to expand out or anything, but I want it to make it sound like it's maybe down the hall kind of thing with the door closed and it's like an annoying neighbor. It's 2 a.m. and you're just hearing that bass thump, right? That's the sound I actually wanted, so.
We all struggle sometimes. Lie in bed and we lie to ourselves, saying sleep is overrated.
Okay, so then I have some overrated echoes. That sounds funny. But I actually used Little Altar Boy, which makes it sound really funny, but sounds cool in the mix. Okay, so you have one that's lower informant. If you look at this, I'm actually not changing the pitch at all. I'm changing the formant. And what that's doing is it's making the pitch actually sound a bit lower, even though it's not. And the same thing here. This one I am actually changing the pitch. So I'm going up an octave and changing the formant 7 points, I guess. I don't know what the measure of formants is, but 7. And then I also have this riser sound, this riser effect to really make it dramatic when everything comes in. So when you put that together,
better days are coming. I can feel it.
okay. So I have another sample in there, and that's when everything kicks in together. And that's where I wanted that huge sound. So we have a couple different instruments going on here, but we have these really nice sample drums I got from Splice. You'll hear them. You can see here, I didn't just take the sample, I chopped it up a little bit. I wanted to have that bounce, that boom bap bounce, but I also didn't want it to be too complex. Generally speaking, if I'm crafting a beat, I go with the 3-1 ratio, where I have the beat that it's 3 times repeating, and then the 4th time it does some kind of variation. I don't know if I achieved that in this song, but I wanted it to go with the song, and the sample itself didn't quite fit in there. And then when you couple that with your tambourine, very simple beat. But it works perfectly. So we have that, and we have a reverse cymbal here. That one was not reverse. Okay, so you get the idea there, and then we have the bass guitar part. Very simple bass part. Yep, sounds nice. And I really love this ukulele. This was my uncle's ukulele. He passed away a couple years ago. And it's just so cool to be able to have him on this track. And it's you can feel it. There's something special about the ukulele. And the ironic thing, I guess, irony might not be the word, but the bass guitar that I play on all the tracks was my dad's best friend, John. He was the lead singer in my dad's band. He tragically passed away 5 or 6 years ago at this point. And he bought this bass in hopes to learn it one day. The guy had such a gifted voice, and it just sat in the basement of his place for decades, in really great condition. It's a Fender Music Master bass, really beautiful bass. After he passed away, it was actually gifted to me, and by his wife, and I am so grateful for that. And to have both of these together on this track, it's really, really special. And I chose the ukulele for this song because I wanted it to have that 21 Pilots kind of vibe. If you hear the beat and you hear the lyrics and the way everything's going together, even with the little hip hop thing at the end, that kind of all makes sense. So this is the ukulele. I double tracked it and hard panned it left and right. So here it is. And I actually love when it's not perfect. Like you can hear there that it's 2 very different guitars. I think that sounds great. It adds width to it. Whereas if you play them perfectly, or you, even worse, you just copy and paste them over and nudge them, you'll get some phasing issues, and it just doesn't sound as wide. So double track your acoustics, your ukuleles, even your electrics if you can. And then throw the bass in there with that. Bring in that beat. Okay. And then I wanted it to sound really huge. We already have a lot of voices going on there. You can see down here I double a lot. And I have this organ and piano and even some whirly. So I have those if you listen to that together. So that's like some atmospheric kind of vibe, but that wasn't enough for me. So when I was listening to that back, even with the ukulele and the drums, I kept hearing a boom, boom. Like I wanted something big there. And I found these two synths that, in my opinion, work beautiful together. So I have these chorus stabs here. Alchemy is so underrated with Logic, it's silly. I think the only reason it can get a bad rap is there's just so much to it that it's hard sometimes to find that sample. But this one is just the classic 80s synth. And I went down here to wide. Listen to this thing. I'm going to solo it out so you can really hear it. It's so awesome. Oh, yeah. Listen to that with the beat. And that's exactly what I was hearing in my head. And then you can couple that with the lead. And the lead is doing the melody that I'm singing. So really awesome. And let's throw that together with just the keys here. So you get a really good idea of what it's putting together. Now let's throw the ukes. Yeah. And now we have the voices. So there's a lot of doubles and the high and low octaves. So let's actually save the main part here. But here's the background vocals.
I got that sunrise.
Ridiculous. Like always. So I have that little altar boy on there. And you can actually hear that pretty well right now. So I should have turned that down a little bit, but I think in the mix you can't hear it as well. So let's listen to with the main vocals.
I got that sunrise.
Yeah, and I have that nice tail delay on the ending only.
I got them blue skies. I got a clear mind. Just send me good vibes to de-stress and unwind.
You know what? Give me a second here. I want to check something. Now let's go back and listen to that.
I got that sunrise.
Ha! So I knew it didn't sound right. It was definitely off. As you saw when I opened that up, on December 11th, I went into a 4th grade classroom, and their teacher, Mr. Spencer, was actually playing this song for the students. We were talking about sound waves, and I went in and discussed how, music is just manipulating sound waves. That's all it is changing frequency and pitch and all that stuff and amplitude. And that's what makes music so beautiful, is that it's really the combination of art and science. And out of habit, as I'm leaving, and I showed them this project file, out of habit, I hit Command S to save the project and I exited out. And I didn't realize it until just now that I actually saved over top of my final project. So thankfully for Logic's sake and for my sake, we have version history there, and I was able to go back to the correct one. Sounds way better. So now let's listen to those lyrics. Sorry about that. I'm keeping that in, though. I'm not editing that out.
I got that sunrise.
Woo, much better.
I got them blue skies. I got a clear mind. Just send me good vibes to de-stress and unwind.
Okay, yeah, that's way better. Let's put that all together. Take everything out, and let's solo out the chorus only.
I got that sunrise.
Actually, I want to show the lead there. The lead is actually comping the vocals, and I tried some the vocoders, the different ones that Logic has built in. I just did not love it. It didn't give me the right sound. So I just thought, well, let's just back it up with some synth and it'll sound pretty cool. So in Alchemy again, I am using I made my own preset. If you really like the sound of it, hit me up. I'll definitely share it with you. There's nothing proprietary about it. It's just me goofing around with stuff until it sounds cool. So, I'll gladly share this out. In fact, I'll probably just put it on my website if it's something that really appeals to you, but I think it sounds cool.
I got them blue skies. I got a clear mind. Just say
That one's pretty cool because that third part there, third time, I do something a little bit different with the synth and the voice to add some flavor. That's something I can't do with my vocals. Okay, so pretty neat. And then I use that sound again for the main melody. So you have that. Okay, and I'm using some different samples. Again, I get a lot of my samples from Splice. It's the safe way to do it. Don't go ripping songs from Spotify and using them on your album. With the way that AI works now, all that shit is just so easy to get caught. Don't do it. It ain't the mid 80s and early 90s anymore, folks. You got to get with the times, pay for a subscription. There are many out there. Make sure you're sampling safe. Make sure it's archive.org is another great one. All of that, the copyright is clearly laid out, whether you can use it or you can't. Okay, it's just too easy anymore. So what I did there is I have these samples, and you can see them down here. More than likely, let's see, this one's not transposed. Yeah, it's transposed 19, 14. So like I was playing around. I was just trying to get it to the right pitch. That's why a lot of times you'll see on my noise, different things, I'll have tuners on that file because it'll tell me what note it is. So you can hear it now. And it's not perfect, but I actually like that. I don't want it perfect there. I want something that sounds a little bit off. That dissonant sound is actually kind of what I was going for, tension. And then I love this piano sound here. I use it on multiple songs. It's under sampler, and it's just called Old Time Recording Keys. It got that Clash vibe. So like Rockin' the Casbah, like that sound, I love that piano sound. And I wanted it to sound not out of tune, but maybe a little bit, but I want it to sound like not super professional, you know, something like a toy piano-esque. Yeah, that's such a cool sound. Yeah. Very cool sound. Love that piano sound. I use it. I have it on a couple new songs coming out in the spring as well. I don't know why I really like it. It's just perfect. It gives that dirt. And then it goes back into the verse again. You can see here I muted the drums. I had them in there. In the end, I didn't like them. And I just have basically voice and guitar, or voice and piano at this part.
Stuck in the things that keep a smile on your face and give you something to believe in.
So the other thing for this album is I use this mic, this I'm Shure SM7B. I really like it, but I'm so happy to be working with the Foundry recording studio in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'll be tracking all of my acoustic guitar and all of my vocals there. It's a state-of-the-art, multiple studios in one. If you're in the Lehigh Valley, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, within driving distance, if you are within 100 miles, 200 miles of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, get your ass to the Foundry. It is awesome. The thing is, you can be your own engineer. They have engineers for hire. They have producers for hire. They have studio musicians. They just have a bevy of lists of resources for you, and some of the best microphones, outboard gear, anything, you name it, they have it. Great people. They are just, Jason and Justin are just incredible people there. They'll work with you. They have different rates for different rooms. They have producer rooms. They have rooms with all kinds of tubes, or two preamps and EQs. And I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. You guys are going to hear it on the next album. So excited when I get in there to start recording and tracking those vocals. It is just such a drastic difference. But I'm still happy with the way this comes out. I am not going to go back and re-record these. These are done. We're moving on.
Ignore the doubts, but keep the receipts to use whenever you need it.
Bring back in that uke.
We all need 'em sometimes. Kill a spark when breathing gets hard, 'cause life got you overheated. I got that.
See, it's just empty without that.
I got them blue.
All right. So now let's get into the bridge. So the bridge switches it up. So instead of piano and voice, we're now going voice and uke. And it's got this sound. It switches the progression too. So typically this song, I think F sharp minor to E to A to D. This one hits you with that B minor to A, and to E.
Life gets harder now, but I'm still holding on.
So that's another thing I did with this is I doubled up the vocals, but I just used a bunch of things. Oh, look at the processing on that. So Little Altar Boy, I have it going down an octave there. So it went down an octave, and Formant down -5. So let's listen to it. Oh, yes. So I made this one dual mono instead of stereo, so I could do different things. So like the left side has the pitch down 12, the right side has it up 12 and up 5 in the Formant. So that's really cool. Couple that with the main vocals, and now you get an octave below, an octave above, and straight down the middle, you have the traditional normal.
Life gets harder now, but I'm still holding on.
Okay, so now let's put that back with main vocals and the two ukuleles.
I'm getting stronger now. I keep holding on.
All right, this is where it gets interesting, guys. This part, I was just tinkering around with all kinds of samples from Splice. I mean, noises, instruments, anything I could find. I wanted it to sound like it was Frankenstein. I didn't want any of the the samples to be like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, they're all trumpets or whatever. They're all the same instrument. I wanted something where it sounded like I just took a bunch of clips from songs and put them together, transposed them, and made them work. And that's kind of what I did legally with samples I paid for. You can see this. Let's zoom in and take a look. First of all, when it's coming into this, we have all these noises here. You can hear riser, glitch, noise. Each one adds its own flavor to this. So here's noise. Okay. So that's why. Let's go to just noise. Okay. And then if I throw in the other noise. Okay, let's add the glitch now. It's so cool. All right, and now let's add both risers. I'd imagine I panned them somewhat. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. I was going to say that didn't make sense. All right. So then I have the risers and I have this reverse cymbal. It's all building up tension to that release. Okay. And then with that, we get the rest of these samples. So these are all just, again, noises that I transposed. They weren't all F sharp minor. They have to be a minor sample, but they don't have to be F sharp because I can just manipulate it. I can transpose it. That's the beauty of being in a digital audio workspace. And I put them all on different tracks. One, to keep them organized, but two, so I can mess with panning. I wanted this to kind of like, especially when you're listening to headphones, go all over the place. So let's listen in on those samples. Go back here. Okay, so then it repeats, but this time it repeats with the drum filter. So this is probably Sound Toys Filter Freak. Sure is. Love Sound Toys. So my goal is one day to get enough subscribers on YouTube that Sound Toys wants to sponsor some videos. They're by far my favorite plugins. I use multiple Sound Toys on every single song I've ever released. Just from anything from like making my bass sound much better to these weird psychedelic effects. You can achieve it all with just the Sound Toys bundle. Highly recommend. By the way, that's still just the same exact sample. Wild. Okay, so that's kind of the build up, and I actually, of course, used some other samples. I don't know where I pulled this from, but it was all legal.
The hurry and scurry of modern life is getting a lot of us down. Or maybe we're just getting soft.
And then I have this sit back, and I used Sound Toys again, Little Altar Boy, and made the formant just slightly down. And then Decapitator, another Sound Toys plugin. And I cut it to give it that distortion feel, but also cut a lot of the lows.
Sit back.
Okay, so now it goes into this really cool hip hop part. And I'm going to mute the vocals for a second and just give you that.
Sit back.
Okay, got some gang vocals in there. So now let's throw in the vocals.
Sit back.
Kick up my feet and relax. No matter situation, ain't no need to react. Producing serotonin with the best that they seen. I got my mind overflowing with the dopamine. I feel good, even on the days that I'm not. And I choose to travel lightly, cause today's all I got. I'm giving up negative thoughts as I'm learning my lesson. They be adding up all my faults while I'm counting my blessings.
Yeah, really love that. That was a late addition to the song. That was not in the original, but I was listening to a lot of Tropodelic. James began, man, dude, James is insane. So if you don't listen to Tropodelic, check him out. James is an incredible rapper, and he's got this awesome flow, but also the 21 Pilots, real big fans of those guys as well. And I felt like it just needed something at the end. There, you had this build up, this bridge build up, and it needs to culminate to something, and it can't just be a solo. So originally it was going right to this part where I'm kind of just singing the melody again. But the rap there, the verse there is definitely adds a lot to it.
Adding up all my faults while I'm counting my blessings.
I love this part right here. It stops. Cutting the drums. If you're using samples, cut those drums at parts, because it just adds so much. And then at that ending melody, I'm using another Sound Toys plugin. I'm using Phase Mistress. Freaking man. Sound Toys. Hit me up. So now you got this melody. And that's singing along to the leads here. And the way I end it, of course, it's got that lead piano sound that I absolutely love. Yeah. Real happy with this one. This one came together, and it's like perfect time. 3.5 minutes long is like the ideal song. I have a lot of songs that are over 4 minutes, some songs that are under 3 minutes, but my goal is always in that 3:15 to 3:45 range. Of course, you don't write songs to sit within a certain time frame. So if it calls for a longer song, and that's just the way it is. So I hope this video was interesting to you guys. I have one more track to jump into, the very last track of it. I'm not going to do that one tonight. I'm going to push that one off for another week. This is going to take me a long time to edit because I'm sure I'm way over 20 minutes at this point, probably closer to 30. But if you found anything interesting, if you have any questions, or if you work for the company Sound Toys, leave a comment below. Love to chat. Thanks, guys.
Kick up my feet and relax. No matter situation, ain't no need to react. Producing serotonin with the best that they seen. I got my mind overflowing with the dopamine. I feel good, even on the days that I'm not. And I choose to travel lightly, cause today's all I got. I'm giving up negative thoughts as I'm learning my lesson. They be adding up all my faults while I'm counting my blessings.